Hey, all, welcome back to this course. Today we'll be talking about module 4, which is international trade and finance. By way of module objectives, by the end of this module, students should be able to understand and apply global trade theories to explain the patterns and benefits of international trade. Students should be able to analyze various financing methods for international trade, including trade credits, loans, and other financial instruments. Students should be able to explain the concepts and components of balance of payment and how it reflects a country's economic transactions with the rest of the world. Students should also be able to evaluate the factors that drive international capital flows and their impact on global trade and investment. Students um, should be able to identify the key factors and risk involved in international trade and finance and apply this knowledge to real world scenarios. By way of introduction, international finance are fundamental components of the global economy, playing a critical role in promoting economic growth, fostering cooperation among nations, and ensuring that markets for goods, services, and capital are integrated. Trade between countries allows for efficient allocation of resources, enabling nations to specialize in production of goods and services they are most efficient at, while trading with others to meet their needs. International finance supports this trade by facilitating the movement of capital, exchanging market rate risk, and providing financial products for cross-border transactions. This module will explore the theories of global trade, the methods of financing international trade, the balance of payments, and the movement of international capital flows. Understanding this concept is essential for grasping how countries manage their in economies in global market space, as well as the various risks and opportunities that arise from international economic transactions. Let's look at some of the global trade theories that we have. We have the first, which is called mercantilism. This theory treats trade as a zero-sum game, emphasizing exports over imports to accumulate wealth. The next theory is the absolute advantage, provided by Adam Smith. Countries should specialize in goods they can produce most efficiently. That's what Adam Smith said. It's called comparative advantage. Then we have the next one, comparative advantage by David Ricardo. Even if a country lacks an absolute advantage, it can, this is the opposite of the absolute advantage by Adam Smith. He said companies should utilize and produce as many goods as they can. It can still, so the competitive advantage given by David Ricardo says, even if a country lacks an absolute advantage, it can still benefit from trade by specializing in the goods it produces with the lowest opportunity cost. That's what this theory said. Then we have the Eckers-Ostling theory. This theory states that countries will export goods that use the abundant factors of production, that is, labor and capital. Then we have the new trade theory. This emphasizes the economies of scales, network effect, and first movers advantage in trade. This is a typical example of this is a diagrammatic representation of the global trade theories. Then we have mercantilism and absolute advantage. Let's look at it in depth. Like I said, mercantilism um, is advocated for government intervention to promote exports and restrict imports to accumulate wealth. The key point here is government intervention, trade surplus, and limited imports. Then let's look at the absolute advantage. Adam Smith's theory focuses on countries specializing in goods they can produce with fewer resources. So Adam's absolute advantage is saying countries should specialize in, like they should utilize their scarce resources to produce as many resources as they can, many different products that they can. The key point here is specialization, no need for government intervention, free trade benefits. Then we have the comparative advantage and the Hecker's-Ohlin theory. The comparative advantage says even if a country is less efficient in all goods, it can benefit from trade by specializing in goods with the lowest opportunity cost. While the Hecker's-Ohlin theory says trade patterns are influenced by countries' factor endowments, that is labor or capital. Countries export goods that use their abundant factors, like I said before. Now let's look at the new trade theories and the economies of scale. The new trade theories focuses on economies of scales, while larger population volumes, while larger production volumes lower per unit costs. The key point here is number one, there is economies of scales. That is, large industries benefit from lower costs as they expand production. There is network effect. The growth of an industry leads to greater efficiencies and demand. There is first movers advantage. That is, early entrance to markets can dominate industries. Then we have financing methods for international trades. We have the first one, which is the trade credits. This allows buyers to pay for goods at a later date, easing cash flow. We have letters of credit. Letter of credit guarantees payment for goods, offering security to sellers. Then we have bills of exchange. This is a written order from a seller to a buyer for future payments. Then we have export credit insurance. This protects exporters from non-payment by foreign buyers. Let's look at balance of payment, BOP. The balance of payment is a kind of document that tracks all economic transactions between a country and the rest of the world, how they transact with the other countries of the world. The key component here is that it has three accounts. Balance of payment has three sections. We have the current account, the capital account, and the financial account. The current account records trades in goods and services, incomes and transfer. This is the part you find trades in goods and services, incomes and transfers. Transfers are what was not worked for. Then the next is the capital account. The capital account tracks ownership transfers like real estate and intellectual property. This is where you find real estate and intellectual property transactions. Then you have the financial account that records cross-border investments like the FDIs and portfolio investments between countries. Now let's look at international capital flows. There are four kinds of international capital flows. There's foreign direct investment, which is the FDI. There's portfolio investment. There's remittance. Then we have other financial investments like loans, deposits, reserves, and exchange between countries. The FDI, these are long-term investment by foreign entities in a country's assets. Portfolio investment is investment in financial assets like stock, bond. This is usually short-term. Then remittance, this is transfer of money by migrant workers to their home countries. Then other financial instruments, like I said, include loans, deposits, and reserve exchanged between countries. By conclusion, international trade and finance are foundational pillars of the modern global economy, acting as the driving force behind economic development, prosperity, and growth across nations. This interconnected field not only facilitates the exchange of goods, services, and capital between countries, but also enable nations to specialize in the production of goods and services where they hold comparative advantage. This specialization allows for increased efficiency, higher productivity, and ultimately better standard of living for individuals and societies. In an increasingly interconnected and interdependent world, understanding the mechanism of international trade and finance is crucial. Countries that are able to manage their trade relations effectively, attract foreign investments, and adapt to the ever-changing dynamics of global finance are better positioned to grow their economies, create jobs, and improve their citizens' well-being. At the end of this module, it's an assessment session where you do part A, some quizzes, and part B that includes the reports. That's it. I'll see you in module 5.